All right. Hi, everyone, and happy summer. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Allison, and I'm a volunteer with CDCK. And welcome to our May adoption event. Just wanted to note we're doing this a bit later because of Memorial Day, but it is our May adoption event technically. And a special thanks to my fellow volunteers, Mila and Prabha, for their help coordinating the event and helping behind the scenes. You two are the best. And today we have some incredible foster dogs for you to meet. I'm so excited to get to speak with their wonderful fosters. But before we meet them, just a little bit about us. We are City Dogs and City Kitties Rescue, and we are located in Washington, D.C. We are a nonprofit organization that rescues animals in overcrowded and under-resourced shelters. And we don't have a physical shelter, which means that all of our adoptable dogs are with fosters in their homes, as you'll see today. So far, we've rescued over 10,000 lives, and of course, we're continuing to save more. You can find us at the usual social media platforms, such as on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at City Dogs Rescue. That's dogs plural. And our website is citydogsrescuedc.org. And on that website, which for good measure, again, is citydogsrescuedc.org, you can donate and find fundraisers. You can inquire about dogs, whether it's the ones you'll meet today or any other dogs that we have available. And you can find information about volunteering and about applying to foster, which is great because we always need more fosters and volunteers. And we especially depend on our fosters to allow us to be able to rescue more incredible dogs. Just also, before we begin, a special thanks to our amazing fosters, both those who are on the call and those who are not. You really do such important work, and oftentimes these dogs are coming straight from the shelters, and our fosters truly put in the time and effort to get them acclimated to life in a home. So thank you all. And one last quick note, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them or follow up with us later, and we will do our best to get to them. So with all of that being said, thank you so much, everyone, and let's get started. So up first, we have Munchie, who's being fostered by Vanna. Munchie is a male boxer. He's about 55 pounds and 1 year old. So Vanna and Munchie, thanks so much for joining us. Can you start by telling us just a little bit about Munchie?
So he came from West Virginia. His original name was actually Smokey Joe, but somewhere along the lines they renamed him Munchie. Sorry, I'm trying to maximize my screen and I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So Munchie is a super playful dog. I think if he's a year, that's definitely the most he would be. He just blew out all his puppy fur after this winter. So he's a very playful dog, definitely mischievous, but he's very, very affectionate. He just kind of wants to be with you and the people and kind of see what's going on all the time. So he's, but yeah, I'm not sure about the boxer part. I think he's a miniature Saint Bernard mixed with Muffin.
I love it. That's a great description.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. How has Munchie been adjusting to your home?
So he's been doing really well. At first, we had a little bit of struggle with some potty training, but he's been absolutely solid. He's over here hiding in the corner because, of course, they have to make this as difficult as possible. So in my home, I have two other dogs, a 70-pound pit bull named Thor they're both alums, and Brooks, who's a 59-pound boxer pit bull Australian Shepherd Demon mix. Not really sure about Brooks, but so he has two foster brothers and he has two human children brothers, and he, it's a rambunctious house. There's always somebody running around doing something, and he just loves to join in on the fray. But he's been with me a while now. We've gotten to take him in on some adventures as well. So he's gone over and visited friends. I took him to a party with his Adopt Me sign on this last weekend. There were like 30 people there, all these kids running around screaming. He was just playing with the dogs that were there. So he has not met a dog he doesn't like. So he's fitting in really well.
Yeah. That's awesome. And he looks so happy and so comfortable. That's great. And I love hearing that you've taken him on adventures. What do you think Munchie's ideal day looks like?
So Munchie likes to wake up. So Thor likes to wake up at exactly 5:50 and then try and nag me out of bed for 40 minutes. And Munchie has very willingly joined into that struggle. I can't find the snooze button on either of them. And so we have a very set routine where we go out. I have a fenced-in backyard. They use the bathroom, we come in and eat, they go back out. Then he likes to play for a bit. He does have a quiet nap during the day. He is very easy in a crate. But basically his ideal day is definitely getting to play with other dogs. He loves going on walks too. But if he does go on a walk, he prefers to have a long snooze after said walk with snoring on the couch.
That is understandable. That sounds like a good day to me also. And do you have any stories you can share with us about Munchie?
So, I took him to Downs Park, I think 2 weeks ago, and he got to meet the ocean for the first time. He was not a huge fan of the ocean. He definitely went in the water, liked more kind of like standing on the edges of it, but he really enjoyed digging in the sands and meeting. There were lots of other dogs there, and of course, so he was more like, oh, there's other dogs. But I think so. I just really fun getting to see him in the ocean. But
That's great.
Stories.
No, I love that though. And I love again that you've been, exposing him to different environments. That's awesome. And what do you think Munchie's ideal forever home looks like?
He would really like to be with a family. He would love, I mean, he could, as long as he's in a home where they're willing to take him to be around other dogs, I think he'd be happy. And he also does love to play by himself. Like he'll put a whole thing of toys out and play with them. But his idea, like he would love to be with other dogs. He's like, if anybody remembers the Fudge series from Judy Blume, he's definitely like Fudge. He wants to tag around with his bigger brothers and just kind of do what they're doing all the time. One of his favorite things to do, and it's amazing, but he loves to lay on top of Thor and take a nap. And Thor puts up with it, but he just lays directly on top of him. Not really a fan of personal space. So he would like a home with no personal space as well.
That's adorable. I love that so much. That's so cute. And before we let you go and before we let Munchie get back to romping around with his foster siblings, he's been such a good boy. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about him?
No, he's just has such a positive, happy attitude. Like he's always like Thor can kind of look like somebody ate his chocolate bar all the time. But Munchie is just always so happy. He's just the happiest little guy. So.
And you can really see that come through on the screen. It's amazing. So thank you so much to you both for being here. We really appreciate it. And for those of you in the audience who are Munchie fans like I am, you can find out more about him by visiting his very special link, which is cdck.cc/adoptmunchie. That's Munchie. Thank you so much again to you both. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And up next, we have Nicky, who's being fostered by Amy. And Nicky is a female mixed breed, about 30 pounds and about 1 year old. So let's see. Do we have Amy and Nicky? Ah, perfect. Oh, caught a glimpse of you. There we go. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey there.
So Amy, can you start by telling us a little bit about Nicky?
Well, I'm going to first move to the other question of favorite toy. We just found one.
Perfect.
We just got this one today, and it's definitely a favorite. So Nicky, I guess is listed as mixed breed. I'm going to put her as a Australian cattle dog. She's got the right body shape and the right kind of attention and the correct ears. And she's about 30 pounds. She's brindle. She, like Munchie, just has fun doing everything she can. And I also have 2 dogs here, and she plays constantly with the younger one and has the best time ever. One thing to know is, which is hard for me to even remember because it doesn't play any part in life anymore, but she had one of her rear legs amputated about 2 months ago. And within 4 days, she was up and walking around. And within 2 weeks, she was able to do stairs and running around and fully playing with anyone and anything she can. So it doesn't hinder her in the least.
That's amazing. I'm so happy to hear that she's recovering well and has bounced back. That's awesome. And you mentioned, yes, sir.
I thought I was going to be taking on like a medical recovery case, and she's just a young pup having fun.
That's great. It's very clear that she is resilient, and thank you to you for rehabilitating her. That's awesome. And you mentioned the toy that you just got. So what is that toy? And generally, what else does she like to play with?
Well, this is a blue ball that has spikes and apparently is the best texture of any toy ever. She also will love any squeaky kind of toy. And she very much can spend about 20 minutes on a nylabone chew type toy and then later another 20 minutes. So she will just go for hours playing with toys or wrestling with my dog.
That is great. And can you tell us a little bit about her relationship with the resident dog? I know you've mentioned that twice, and I love that. So how does she do with other dogs, and specifically again
Yes,
with?
so I have two other dogs. So she's probably just over a year herself. And one of my dogs is probably about 4 to 5 and about the same size. And they do wrestle playing all the time. They're best buddies. Oops. And then I have an older dog who's about 14 and they don't play, but Nicky loves to snuggle with her. And
Aw.
Nicky will put her head on either of them and wrap up and do a complete snuggle with them for naps.
That is very sweet. I love that.
I'm trying
And
to go with the movement of where she goes.
no, thank you. It's not an easy job to operate the camera, so thank you for that.
And she's very snuggly with me. She does sleep in the bed with me.
Aw.
And we all sleep in the same bed, the dogs and me and her, and she just snuggles right up in whatever crevice is left.
That is great. I love that. So cuddly and so sweet. That's awesome.
And I mean, you don't get these ears anywhere, you know.
That's true. I agree. Yeah, she definitely seems like a cattle dog. That makes total sense. And Amy,
Yeah,
what
and
do you
she has
think?
the focus of one too.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. What do you think her ideal forever home looks like?
Well, I don't know that we're going to get her ideal home because I think her ideal home would be with sheep or cattle. But in lieu of that, if she just has any person at all, and the more people that can be in her life, the better, but they don't all have to live at the same place as long as she can have outings. But she definitely is active. So she does need a couple of walks a day. She doesn't go on super long walks because of the leg, but she likes a lot of shorter walks.
That
But
sounds great.
and I would say probably not small children because of the herding dogness. She does do a little bit of herding behavior with my dogs and trying to like nibble their cheeks and stuff. But other than that, she's perfect. I have had young family members come over and play with her and spend the night with her. And she slept with my 11-year-old niece with her head on my niece's shoulder.
That's so nice. That's great to know that she gets along with kids, and that's wonderful. And thanks for giving us a really great picture of the type of home, even if it's not the ideal one with sheep, then
Right. I mean, not everyone. She keeps looking for the Amazon delivery truck that has the sheep.
Exactly. Don't we all? Um, and before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to share with us about Nicky?
I think I'll just go with that, but resilient is definitely her game plan. Nothing will get her down. She was up and going. The leg injury had probably been an older injury where her bone didn't heal well at some point. So she was probably thrilled to get rid of the old leg. And she's just a joy.
I love that. That's great. It's clear she has a ton of energy and
She's focused.
yes, it's amazing. You're right. She is. She's laser focused. But, thank you so much for, giving her such a nice home to recover in, and, we really appreciate it.
Super soft too. This is super soft hair.
Wow, I love it. That's even better. And the brindle coloring is so beautiful.
Yes.
Wow, she's a great girl. It's like very clear. So for those of you in the audience who are interested in learning more about Nicky, you can visit her link at cdck.cc/adopt-Nicky. That's Nicky. Thank you so much, Nicky, and thank you, Amy.
Bye-bye.
All right, so up next we have Aaron, whose foster is Kate. Aaron is a male mixed breed who's about 49 pounds and is about 1 year old. So hi, Aaron and Kate.
Hello. He, for some reason, is halfway under my bed. So
It's
it's a little dark, sorry. But this is Aaron. He's chomping on a bone right now. Just want a little bit about him?
Sure, yes, please.
Yeah. So Aaron he's got the sweetest temperament. Just, everything is good. He loves everybody. He loves all the dogs. He's just always up for a good time, but just a real nice, steady temperament. We've had him a while, a couple of months now, and he's younger than I usually foster. And at this point, he's easier than a lot of the other dogs. He doesn't have any major behavior issues he's working on. He's doing really well living in our house. I live in a townhouse with no yard and 2 teenagers. And he does great. He loves my kids, and he loves going on walks, like either just with me or with some of his neighborhood buddies. He also goes to dog parks now and has play dates because dog play is important to him. Oh, and I have a dog. I have a 10-year-old hound who thinks he's annoying, but fine. Like, she'll yell at him if he's trying to play with her too much. And she can roll him. He's bigger than she is. And he'll be like, okay, fine. I'll leave you alone. But he's a real softie. Very snuggly, very soft and floppy. Yeah, he likes to lay down, and you go down and you're like, come on, Aaron, we have to get up. And he flops out, he rolls all the way on his back, and you go to pick him up and he's just like dead weight. So we do that a couple times a day, definitely for last walk. But yeah, he's a play hard, rest hard kind of guy. He needs a fair amount of sleep.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's great. And I'm just throwing in this question, Kate, but given that you've had him for a while, what changes have you noticed in him, or what surprised you about his transition to your home? Just curious, since you know him well.
Yeah, I would say some huge changes. I feel like he kind of missed some of the dog manners stuff that dogs typically get in their first year. I think he was very much loved as a puppy. But some of the stuff like mouthiness and barking for attention was not addressed. And so we kind of had to get through that. And he's way, way better. Like, he still likes to show his love with his teeth. But it's much better than it used to be. Like, he does like little front teeth, nibbles. Oh, he's gonna mouth me now. But it's much less of an issue. Like, yes, we still get a little bit of mouthing every day, so we shouldn't be with young kids, but he lives with 2 teens and meets lots of people and does well. And he's learned like more appropriate ways to ask for affection. So I see much more like licking and leaning than we used to be, where it used to be he's coming in asking for attention, like teeth first. And then, yeah, we had some issues with barking for attention, which once I made sure he was sleeping enough, that got better. But also, like, he knows now if he starts barking for attention, I take him and isolate him. Like, I put him in an office or something for like 30 seconds, and he comes back out and he's like, okay, fine, you're right. It doesn't work. Like, I won't bark. When I bark, you put me away. So resolving those 2 behaviors and having strategies for when they do pop up is amazing. Besides that, he came to us housebroken. He came to us good in his crate. He came to us good on his leash. We've done some leash training stuff, just kind of to keep him focused on me. He's not reactive or anything, but we see foxes and deers and groundhogs and lots of dogs, and we need some redirection. But yeah, other than that, he's just settled in well. First few weeks were a little rough, and now he's easy peasy.
Well, that's great. And, it's a credit to you. Thank you so much to you and your family for helping him adjust and, for working with him on those behaviors. And it's so clear he's such a good boy.
And we still know young kids. They're still a little mouthy, huh?
Yeah. Of course, well, he's a puppy.
He's a puppy. And I think he'll always be a dog because he does those front nibbles, and he'll do them to like my dog, just like, little nibbles. And it's just like a show of affection, just not one that humans always love.
Right, exactly. But he's, yeah, very affectionate, you can tell.
Yeah.
That's great. And we see him with his bone there, which he's really enjoying. But, what would you say is his favorite toy, or what kinds of things does he like to play with?
Yeah, we have, like some bones for chewing. It kind of depends on the time of day. When I'm working out, it's usually bone time, and he knows that. In his crate, he gets like this kind of bone, but filled with peanut butter to help him settle. He likes to destroy tennis balls. He doesn't eat the bits, and he doesn't chase tennis balls often, but he loves to skin a tennis ball and just leave the bits around for me. What else do you like to do? But he mainly wants to play with other dogs. Oh, and sticks. We've got quite a stick collection, and we used to walk with sticks a lot to help if he would start mouthing during walks. We do it less frequently now because he's so much better. But he does like to hang out with a stick still. Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't love a good stick? That's great. Gotta have a good stick collection.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that there are teenagers in the house, and dogs, and just generally, how does Aaron do with other dogs and with other people?
He loves them, all of them. I mean, they come in my house, it's great. We see him out and about, it's great. He loves the dog park. Yeah, people, he's just very, very welcoming. Yeah, and dogs, he's very welcoming. He has spent, since he's been with me, he's got the bone on the lap. He spent about 2 weeks at the foster in DC with one other dog, and he did really well there and settled in. And then just this past weekend, he was at Aunt Jeanette's house, and she has 2 dogs of her own. He was just there for 24 hours. Her dogs are older, and I think he was like, yay, buddies. And they were like, ugh. But he did well. He's just sweet, and they can say, stop it. And he's like, okay. But yeah, really well with other dogs. He doesn't start a conflict. He doesn't bark if barked at. Right. Mm-hmm.
That is great. And before we let you go, what do you think his ideal forever home looks like?
And if we're talking like Barbie dream house level, one thing he would want, big fence, and this is not how we live. We're in a townhouse with no yard, and he's totally happy. But like a big fenced in backyard with another playful buddy, and ideally a big hill. He loves a hill with like some tufty grass that he can zoom on, and maybe some loose dirt to dig in. But yeah, he sees a hill and it's like, oh my gosh, can we go zoom on it? So yeah, he'd like that. And people, yeah, a playful friend. But he's totally fine not having all those things. My dog's not playful. I don't have a yard, and he has a very nice life. Right?
I love that. That all sounds good. So it's nice to know that he's adaptable and flexible.
Yeah.
But that's good to know also the Barbie dream house version.
Right. Like, yeah, he's just messing with the screen. Yeah, a big hill, man. It's a weird thing, but I say that it's his favorite landform is a hill.
I haven't heard of that. That's so interesting. I love
see one from across the street and be like, oh my gosh, can we go see that hill? I don't know. And then he wants to zoom up and down it. I don't know. It's a little
adorable.
Weird, but it's very cute. But sometimes if I have 2 dogs, I'm like, we can't go near any hills, guys. So,
right. That could be hard to manage, but
that can be hard to manage. Yes.
And Kate, is there anything else you'd like to share with us about Aaron?
I think I was thinking of one little story that I think shows how far he's come with his leash training, which again, I'm not much of a strict trainer, but I do use treats when we're walking to help him get his focus back to me. But he's still a young dog, and he's got, he's working on maturing his brain. And we were walking, and there was a deer right off the trail near us, and he sees it in the woods, and he sees it, and we're kind of walking parallel to it, and I'm trying to get him back to focus on me. And he's like, can't do it, lady. I don't want the treats. Can't do it. And he's just walking and looking at it, but pulling a bit. And then we get to this underpass, this tunnel where he knows the deer's not there. And he immediately sits down and makes eye contact. Like, okay, now I'll take the treat for focusing on you. But he's really good with that kind of, focusing, and he knows when he's like, when he's out and about, when he's seen something that's maybe exciting, and he'll check in with me and be like, I did a good job. I get a treat now. But it's nice. It makes him really adaptable, and able to live in busier places. So
That's incredible. That checking in is so, important. And, that's awesome
yeah,
to
he
hear that
kisses.
that's what he does.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, he's
so,
very good at it.
oh, well, thank you so much, Kate. Thanks to
Yeah.
you and your family for fostering him. And thank you, Aaron, for being such a sweet little boy.
I know
with that
when his people find him, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing dog, especially when he hits 2.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like blown away by how awesome this dog is. But his people haven't found him yet, so he's
They
still
will,
working
though.
on it. We'll keep loving on him.
Oh, well, thank you for doing that in the meantime. And hopefully Aaron's people are here and watching. And if that's you, you can learn about Aaron by visiting his link at cdck.cc/adopt Aaron. That's AARON. Thank you so much, Kate and Aaron. All right, so up next we have Muffin and Jane. Muffin is our foster dog. Jane is our foster. Muffin is a female bulldog mix, about 46 pounds and about 5 years old. All right, let's see. Do we have them here? All right, I'm not seeing them. It looks like they're here, but the camera's off and they're muted. So if that's, we'll skip Muffin for now. We can always come back. So that means up next is Archer, who's being fostered by Robert. Archer is a male boxer mix, about 45 pounds and about 2 years old. So hello, Archer and Robert. And by the way, Archer's just been lying there just this whole time, even starting at the beginning of the Zoom calls. So
Hi.
good.
Can you hear me now? This is Jane. Sorry, I don't know
Oh
what
yeah, Jane.
happened.
Yeah, sorry. Now I can hear you.
Hi.
Sorry, Robert and Archer. Jane,
That's
okay, perfect.
yeah. Can you see the video?
No, you know what? I can't see the video.
I don't know what's going on here. Usually I'm better at Zoom than this.
No, no worries. Well, if
Can you
you'd like
see
to,
it? Can you see it now?
not now. You know what? If you'd like to if you'd like to log out and try logging back in, maybe that'll work. Otherwise, we do want to, feature Muffin, so I'm happy to chat if that doesn't work, but we can circle
Okay.
back to you.
Okay. I don't know what's hang on one second. Let me just try one more thing here.
Sure.
Here we go. No, that's the camera. Oh, I bet I know what happened. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what's going on for some reason.
No,
It
that's
was
okay.
working
Yeah.
always. Okay. Okay.
Feel free to try logging back in, but if not, again, we want to make sure we talk about Muffin, so happy to chat. Oh, perfect. All right. Sorry, Robert and Archer. So if you wouldn't mind popping back up. Perfect. All right. So just a reminder, Archer is a male boxer mix, we think, about 45 pounds and about 2 years old. So Robert, can you start by telling us a little bit about him?
Yeah, I actually don't know his background story. The way that I got connected to him, I met him at one of the events that y'all had on P Street in Northwest DC. I met his foster at the time, and that's what opened up my idea of fostering a dog. And then started looking at what city dogs had, and Archer was only available for adoption. But I later found out that his adoption fell through, and so we decided to go ahead and try to foster it. And then when his adoption fell through, the timing worked out perfectly. So I picked him up and he's been great.
Oh, that's amazing. And also a great reminder that City Dogs does have events where you can meet our dogs in person. But thank you so much for stepping in and fostering him. That's great. And what is Archer's favorite thing to do? I mean, clearly, it must, one of it must be lying on the couch and hanging out. But
He does. He loves the couch. He doesn't sleep in the bed with me. He sleeps in the crate. And if I'm away from home, he's in the crate, which he's really good about. But if he is allowed on the couch or there's a period, he does love to take a little nap on it. We run every morning. Archer's very active. He is a great dog to run with. He stays right by your side, other than when he wants to use the bathroom, obviously. We're learning to sit and stay at stoplights and stop signs whenever there's our cars around or other people or other dogs. But he's a really good runner. I take him for about 3 miles every morning, and it tires him out for the whole day. And by the end of the run, he's just really glad to be back in the house, have some water, we have breakfast, and then this is what he does after that. So
That sounds like a full day. That's great. 3 miles is awesome.
does it every day, does it really, really well. He was obviously a little slower when we first started, but now he knows the routine, he knows his running leash from his regular leash, and yeah, he loves it. And then after work, when I have time to give him a longer walk again for a second walk for the day, we try to go socialize. So I'm in an area that has a couple different dog parks. So we will go sniff around and meet some of the neighbors.
That's great. That's wonderful. And that answers our next question. But if you'd like to elaborate a bit, I wanted to ask, how does Archer do around other people? It sounds like he does well.
Yeah, so he loves other people. That's what attracted me to him when I first met him. When I got him from the previous foster, they mentioned that he was a little bit of a jumper. So we've been working on that. He just likes to be vertical. That is his one cute thing he does every single day when I do get home from work and let him out of the crate. He gives me the biggest hug. He stands right up. It's different than when he jumps per se. He just comes up and wraps his arms around me, which is really cute. So definitely an affectionate little guy. With other dogs, he's pretty good. If the dogs are more mellow that he's spending time with, for example, I have a neighbor who has a really mellow something doodle. He does really well with it and leaves them alone, and they just run in circles at the parks, or if we're out on the street, they walk shoulder to shoulder and they have no issue. Some of the dogs that are a little more rambunctious and barking or running around and playing with other dogs, he likes to join in. And obviously, as one of the previous people said, he likes to show his affection with his mouth. So he does like to obviously nibble at other dogs, and that's his one thing that we're still working on, is a little bit of socialization, so that he knows that he doesn't have to be so rough with everyone else. He also likes to touch and feel, whether it's with a human or another dog. He will truly, like, he has hands. He just puts his arm up and reaches at you before he wants to smell you, which is really ridiculous. But he's gotten a lot better about it. And I've only had him for a little over 2 weeks, and he's improved a lot over that time.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so cute with the touching. I love that.
Does he like
yeah, very sweet. And it sounds like you can match, energy levels well of other dogs. That's great.
Yeah. So if someone, and also the previous foster had 3 dogs. I believe they were a little more senior, so pretty mellow by that point. And they said that they got along great. So again, if you have other dogs or have a more mellow dog around the house, they'll honestly probably leave each other alone. And if you have a dog that's willing to play, Archer is obviously definitely willing to play as well.
Oh, that's great. And you said that you've had him for a little over 2 weeks. So how has he been adjusting to your home?
Really good. We only had the very first night, we had a little accident in the house, which I was kind of expecting. I get it. He did come from an actual house with, I believe, a fenced in yard. He went from that to, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, by myself. So I knew it was definitely different from him, and there's no dogs around, there's nothing. So during the day, he listens to NPR and he loves it. He is really, really good. I mean, he's, like I said, accident first day, but after that, he's good with, like, if I need the couch or if I need to be sitting at my desk, he doesn't bother me. He does usually like to kind of be in the same room that you're in. Not in like an anxiety kind of way, just he prefers, if I'm cooking, he'll come to the kitchen. He just sits and lays down. If I'm here working on my computer or something, then he just comes and either joins me on the couch or will sit on the ground if I'm sitting at my desk. So, and then in the morning, I do give him 5 minutes of time on the bed in the morning, just to kind of snuggle a little bit. So he loves that as well.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. And what do you think his ideal forever home looks like?
I think it's going to have someone who is also active. I don't know if it has to be running 3 miles every single day, but definitely someone who enjoys a morning walk, especially a long one. Or we just did the DuPont Farmers Market last week. Big stretch. Good job. Yeah, we did the farmers market last week. We go to a lot of different things. There's a farmers market down the street from me every Thursday. We go to that every week, and so he meets a lot of people. So something where the family or the person, I think a single person, could definitely take Archer. is willing to be out and about and bring the dog with. He's really, really good. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm sure he would love a yard, and he does love, like, when the dog park's empty, he does also love that. I bring he has one of those like Kong attached to a rope.
Yeah.
I launched that across the park, and then he goes and gets it and brings it most of the way back, and then realizes he gets a treat if he brings it all the way back. So we're still working on fetch, but someone that can kind of help him with that lifestyle. He's pretty active.
That is great. And also well versed in current events. I love that he listens to NPR. That's
Oh yeah,
great.
he is. Yeah, he is up to speed. He knows everything.
Exactly, exactly. And again, he's been such a good boy. I really do want to let our audience know he's been like this for, about like over half an hour. But Robert, is there anything else you'd like to share with us about Archer?
Let's see. I kind of wanted to work on some things that maybe not a lot of dogs work on, or at least I don't know. He's my first foster, so maybe I can't speak to that, but he lets me touch his teeth. I brush his teeth almost every night. He's very fine with me touching his mouth. We took a bath yesterday for the first time. He was a little nervous. He was doing the thing where he just kind of shakes a little bit, but he wasn't like trying to rush out of the tub or anything. He actually enjoyed it, and obviously now he's super duper soft. Um, so yeah, he's a pretty comfortable dog. I mean, you can kind of touch him and mess with him. Obviously, if you want to play a little rough, he can play a little rough. But when he takes treats or takes food out of your hand, it's very, very soft. He uses his little front teeth here, and he's good. So yeah, I hope he finds a home that does really well with him and enjoys his daily post-work hug as much as I do.
Well, that's great. I love that. And thanks so much for telling us all about Archer and for being a first-time foster. That is really special. And, I hope our audience members will see this and be encouraged to join the foster team as well. So thank you so much to you both. For those of you out there who are interested in learning more about Archer, he's such a good boy. You can visit his link at cdck.cc/adoptarcher. That's ARCHER, and hopefully he'll find a family that he can give hugs to. Thank you so much, Robert, and thanks, Archer, again, for being
Yeah,
so
you're
good.
welcome. Good job, bud.
Good job. All right, so up next, we have Leila, who's being fostered by Emily. Leila is a female pit bull terrier, about 52 pounds and about 1 year old. And thank you for your patience. Excited to speak to you about Leila. So can you start by telling us a little bit about her?
Yeah, Layla, we've had her for about 2.5 months. She acclimated super quickly. She's so sweet. She kind of, I would say her day consists of just hanging out with her humans. There's 3 of us that are fostering her. She loves to cuddle, obviously. And she's super easy. And just nice and sweet to have around.
I love that. That's great. And I'm throwing in a question here too, but how does she do around other people? That's awesome that 3 of you are fostering her.
She loves I think every person I feel like that's come over to our apartment. Yeah, like is immediately, I would say immediately friendly. Maybe barks a little bit with strangers, but she's all bark and no bite. Yeah, and like super early on walks, she like wanted to sniff and say hi to every person. We've kind of gotten over that, but she still likes people.
Oh, that's great. And she's so good. Look how, good she's being.
This is an everyday occurrence.
I love it. And how is she doing with her training?
Good. I would say the biggest thing that we worked on, and now I feel like she's gotten down, is the crate. She sleeps in the crate at night. And then we'll put her in the crate if all of us are gone from the apartment. At first it took her a little bit to acclimate, but now not a peep. And she even goes in there during the day and hangs out. It's kind of her little spot. And at night, we'll say, time to go to bed, and she'll walk in on her own. So I think that's been a good accomplishment for her.
And for night. Yep, that's huge. She's so smart. That's great. And what does a typical day look like for her? So clearly it involves cuddling on the couch, but generally, what does it look like?
Typical day, we walk her 4 times a day. So first walk is, we don't have a backyard. We're in an apartment in the city. So first walk is like between 6 and 7, and then we'll take her out at lunchtime. And then an evening walk, like after work, and then one more time before bed. We'll, on the last one, we'll try to let her run around a little bit. During the day, usually at least one of us is here, so she just hangs out with whoever's here. So she definitely likes to run and be active. So on that last walk, we'll try to let her run around the tennis courts and,
Tire
fetch.
her out.
Yeah, tire her out too, because she's only 1, so she still has some energy.
Yeah, that sounds like a great way to tire her out, and that sounds like an awesome day. And do you have any favorite stories you could share with us about Leila?
We this whole time I've been trying to think of a story to share and can't think of anything specific, but she certainly has made us laugh a lot. She just has, I feel like, her own kind of quirks. One thing, oh, hello. She, now that it's like hot outside, it's summer, and she's, she has black fur, so she gets hot really quickly. When she gets inside, she I think she kind of like forgets how to use her limbs in a way, kind of forgets how to lay down. She just immediately has to kind of sprawl out on our floors to cool off. And she looks very funny when she does that.
So cute.
Yeah.
I love that. No, that's perfect. Honestly, quirks, that's the best. And that gives us, nice picture of Leila. And what do you think her ideal forever home looks like?
I think it would be with someone ideally who either works from home or is just at home, usually, just because she likes to be around people. I think someone or a family with a backyard would be great, just because she does like to run around. Or, someone that is active and, has access to kind of outdoor space. We also think she would be pretty good, I think, with kids.
You can just hug on her.
Yeah, especially little kids. Like, I think, if they were kind of prodding or poking, I don't think she would care. So.
No, that's really great to know. Thanks so much for sharing. That's awesome. And before we let all of you go, is there anything else you'd like to share with us about Leila?
I don't think so. She's just so sweet. I don't know. Anything else?
No, good cuddler. Loves to put her head on your neck when you're laying down. It's really cute.
That's so
she's great.
Yeah, she's beautiful and so small. Look at no. Nice catch. So adorable. Well, thank you so much to all 3 of you for fostering her, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. For those of you out there who'd like to learn about Leila, you can visit her link, which is cdck.cc/adopt Leila. That's Leila. All right. And up next, we have Sarah, who's being fostered by Leah. Sarah is a female Labrador Retriever mix, about 35 pounds and about 1 year old. So hi, Sarah. Hi, Leah.
Hello.
Leah, can you start by telling us a little bit about Sarah?
Sure. So as you mentioned, she's about 1 year old. I've actually been fostering her for over 5 months. So I've really gotten to see her grow up and kind of leave some of those puppy behaviors behind. She is one of the friendliest dogs I've ever fostered, and she is my 47th foster dog. So I feel like I can say with lots of experience that she is super social, super friendly, and she's just been a joy to have in our home the last 5 months.
That is awesome. And thank you so much for fostering. That is terrific. 47th foster. It's
great.
Addicting.
It becomes addicting.
That's awesome. And so important, obviously. So thank you. And so you mentioned she's doing well, but how is she doing with her training?
She has come a long way. Like I mentioned, when she first came up, definitely a lot of puppy in her yet. The house training was a struggle at first, but she hasn't had any accidents in the house for a long time now. She's really good in the crate. We're both, my husband and I both work in the office. I'm 3 days a week. He's 5 days a week. So she's in her crate, and we have a dog walker that comes. And as long as she gets a frozen peanut butter Kong, she's just sacks out. So she does really well with that. She's really smart. She learned sit, I swear, in like 5 minutes. She learned down super fast. And on walks, she learned 1, 2, 3 very quickly, which is just a way to focus her attention on me. She is not leash reactive at all. She's just really friendly. So she just wants to say hi to everyone. So by doing 1, 2, 3 and then doing check-ins, she knows that she gets treats, and she's learned all of that super quickly. The only thing on walks is if she sees a squirrel, all bets are off. That is her number one goal in life, I think, is to catch a squirrel.
Well, that is understandable. It is very hard to ignore a squirrel. So, we totally understand that. But that is awesome. And so, amazing that you've been working with her for 5 months. And over, those 5 months that you've been fostering her, what do you think has surprised you the most about Sarah?
I think her adaptability. She came from a shelter in a rural area, like all of our foster dogs do. She came from North Carolina, and I live in a super busy neighborhood in DC. And she just the noise doesn't scare her. The activity doesn't scare her. Buses are fine. She does awesome on car rides. We spend a lot of time on the Eastern Shore, and she adapted very quickly to our routine over there. We have a yard there, so she gets to run around quite a bit. She's learned that it's a little more laid back on the Eastern Shore, and I feel like she just adapts to whatever the situation is. And that's been, for such a young dog, I think that's really surprising.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. The fact that she's so young and is so adaptable, that is really special. That's great. And does she have a favorite toy or a favorite game to play? And also noted that she likes those frozen peanut butter Kongs. That sounds great.
Her favorite thing in life is my dog. I think that's always her favorite activity, her favorite toy, her favorite. In our house, it's my dog, then me, and then my husband. That's probably the Sarah ranking of her favorites. So she does like to play with toys. She loves, we give her the Himalayan kind of yak milk bones. She really likes those. She now knows the sound of the cheese drawer. So when that opens, she is right next to the refrigerator for her cheese tacks. And she can keep herself occupied the days I do work from home. She's pretty good about playing with toys for herself. She just needs breaks outside. We have a very small backyard. So her and my dog will go wrestle for a while. Then she'll come back in and take a nap while I work.
That's so sweet. I love that she gets along with her foster sibling and totally know about the cheese tax. That is just the price to pay, but it's a small one. And what do you think her ideal forever family looks like, or her ideal forever home?
Sure. She can be a little jumpy and a little excitable. She's only about knee high, but she's super solid at 40 pounds. So maybe not little kids, because she might just knock them over in her exuberance. I think she would love to have another friend, a dog to play with, but it would have to be the dog and her would have to have the right energy match, I think. My dog plays with her, but my dog is also probably about 8 years old. And so she just tires out a lot easier than Sarah. So a dog that is willing to put up with an annoying little sibling or has an equally insatiable appetite for play, I think would be best with Sarah. But she really does just love my dog so much that I think she would love to have a doggy friend, as long as they kind of mesh together.
Yeah, that makes total sense. That's great. And before we let you go, is there anything else you'd like to share with us about Sarah?
She's just she's an easy dog. She's a fun dog. She's super smart. It's really fun to take her places. I've had so many fosters who are leash reactive, or that have separation anxiety, and she has none of that. Everyone that meets her, when they hear she's up for adoption, they're always like, oh, I wish I didn't live on the other side of the country, or, things like that. But everyone just falls in love with her. She has some ability to just instantly charm them. And I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't know why she hasn't found her forever home yet, but I know that that right home is out there. And in the meantime, we really enjoy having her.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for fostering her and just for fostering in general. And I hope she finds her forever home too soon. Although,
Thank you.
it's clear she's having a great time over there, but hopefully, we have people in the audience who are watching and who want to learn more about Sarah. And if that's you, you can visit her special link at cdck.cc/adopt Sarah. That's SARAH. Thank you so much, Leah, and thank you, Sarah. And just quickly, I do want to mention that if you have any questions about, energy matching with your dog, that's such a great point that Leah brought up. You can, email us to find out about trial adoptions or about meet and greets. And, you can see if your dog is a good fit for Sarah, if you're interested. All right, well, that brings us to the end. I do want to say, I know that Muffin was supposed to be on here, but we'll find a way to get you information about Muffin. In the meantime, you can go to her link at cdck.cc/adopt Muffin. That's MUFFIN. And thank you to everyone for being here today. Thank you to Prabha and Mila. Thank you so much to all of the fosters who joined us and to the foster dogs who were all so wonderful and so great on camera. Really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone in the audience who joined us. We hope that you've enjoyed meeting these dogs. I've clearly loved talking to their fosters and learning about them. And if you're interested in learning more, or perhaps even giving one of them their forever home, you can find more information about all of them and about fostering, volunteering, donating, even in-person events like Archer's Foster Robert mentioned. You can find all of that on our website or on our social media platforms. And again, our website is citydogsrescuedc.org. Thanks again to everyone for all of your help in coordinating the event and watching the event. And I hope you have a great night. We'll see you next month.
Well, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. I've just paused the recording. I know Archer's still on. Feel free to head to doing whatever you want to do. Is there anything else that I can help out with over here, or
No, you've been amazing. One quick thing, I just want to make sure we're not still live.
Oh, I think we are. Yeah, I think we're still live. So I'm just gonna press the start.